Hey there. This is a reply to everyone who's replied to all my last video tests. Yes, 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 I know I screwed it up. And that's the point. It was really my test shots, and I'm trying to share with you the information that I don't think is as clear as it could be in the manual or from the other YouTube videos. So I'm hoping this video helps. I'm going to go through a variety of little things that I've recently discovered. Now, along the way, again, more comments. Appreciate them. Tell me what I'm doing right. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me if it helps. I'm here. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get this little beast to work. Now hopefully you can see what I'm trying to do here. Here I've got it in my hand, and of course I hold it with one hand, nice and steady, and then I hold it gently with the other hand. And one of the things that I keep running into, and probably because my upper arm strength isn't that good, and not holding it away from my body enough, so that as I'm doing this, I find myself when I'm walking that the bottom here keeps hitting my stomach. Now I'm not that big, but it's enough to make me realize that this is really meant to be held away from you. And of course the more I'm holding it away from me, the more I'm relying on that upper body strength. So again, keeps hitting into my stomach, though it is properly balanced, and it is a much more of a light touch on this hand than I had originally been playing with. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is this arm here. Now I was playing with the arm, and one of the things that I noticed is that there's two actual screws in here, two little bolts, and I was wondering, why are there two bolts? And I was reading the instruction manual, and one of the things you realize is this can actually change angles. And as I've looked at this, I've realized that because I'm trying to keep it further away from my body, what I can do is I can tilt a little bit so that the angle is a little bit more like this. That'll actually mean that I can reach out a little bit more and change it. So I really would encourage you to realize that you can actually change the nature of this angle here, and this will actually, of course, change the way you're holding the unit. Remember, it's going to stay upright no matter what you do. But this little piece right here, that actually helped me a little bit, because as I showed you before, it keeps kind of hitting my stomach. So not a bad thing to look in, figuring out what exact angle you're going to do with this. There's more about this in the manual, but until you really see it in play, realizing that, again, you can have it straight up or angled this way or even angled more, and that actually changes the nature of the way your arm is working with it. In my last video, I talked about a quick release plate that I was using because this is a really horrible release plate. And while it is useful to have a quick release plate, the release plate I had chosen was way too heavy. It was nice solid metal, and so what I ended up getting was a much cheaper SEMA plastic quick release plate, which actually works fairly well. It doesn't, you have to make sure that you set it properly, and I've got some gasket material in here to make sure that it's nice and snug, and also make sure that I actually make sure that everything about it is straight and snug. But this little plastic thing here helped take off weight from the top. Weight taken off from the top is weight you can take off from the bottom. Another item to consider are these quick release screws. Now, I've been playing with these quick release screws. I've just been pulling them in and pulling them off, pulling them in, pulling them out, and I didn't notice I was getting some sort of a strange rattling noise. And that's because technically these quick release screws for taking the plate off actually unscrew first. They unscrew and then they pull out. So I've been pulling and pushing and pulling and pushing, but if you want to get rid of the rattle, you got to make sure that you tighten them back down again. So they're thumb screws and then they pull. So don't forget to do both halves of them or you're going to get into some trouble. Plus, you don't want anything to rattle. You want to get this to be as tight as possible. Again, when you're untightening these other screws for the adjustment stuff, don't unscrew them all the way. Just unscrew them just enough to be able to slide this thing back and forth, because if you start unscrewing them a lot and then screw them back, you're going to throw your center of balance off one more time. You know, inside the box I found something that I thought was for hooking to a vest or something. It's this strange piece of metal. And for those of you that have this strange piece of metal, turn to the last page of your manual. After everything else, they explain it. But what's actually kind of nice about this piece of metal is it's designed to go on a light stand. And so if you attach this to a light stand, this over here allows you to actually balance the device on it, and this over here allows you to suspend it. So this would be sort of a resting mode, this would be a balancing mode. Now you're thinking, ooh, I'm going to try to put this on a tripod because I don't want to carry a light stand and a tripod with me. Don't, because the real trick is it's a lot of weight and you want it to be really, really sturdy. Now I did go out and I bought myself the adapter that would allow me to do this. So I grabbed myself one of these little babies, which will allow me to put it on tripod legs, because with legs I don't have to worry about the head breaking off. Now I've got really heavy legs, but have right here, I've got a Coleman Magic 2. Not very heavy, but it works fairly well. And I'm going to attach it to that because it's nice and portable, and then I'll show you exactly how convenient this item is actually to have. Now what's nice about the camera when it's on the stand is that of course I can see if it's level and I can start making my adjustments, because this is just going to keep teetering and tottering and gyroscoping around, which is really nice. I know it's not really a gyroscope, it's just sort of a gimbal. But what's nice about it also is that I'm doing my adjustments, I can actually walk around it and really play with it. So I can go, all right, what is my drop time? And I can come over here and drop it and go 1 1000, 2 1000, 3. So that's a little bit about what I want. And of course I can adjust it back and forth accordingly. Again, you want to, it's kind of that extra hand that you really need. So I can drop it and go 1 1000, 2 1000, 3. So again, it's closer. This is about what I'm looking for. What's nice about well, and I'm actually going to mess up my what would be pretty good alignment just to show this to you is that when I'm looking over here, I really have to remember that the more weight down here, you know, the faster it's going to drop. And of course, the less weight down here, if I make it way too less, then eventually it's going to go top heavy on me. Now there's two ways of making the bottom weigh more. One is, of course, is to add more weights, and the other is just to make it longer. So making this longer will make it weigh more, adding more weights will make it weigh more. Now what's nice about this is as you start putting it together, is if I'm very, very careful, if I loosen this, right, if I come over here and say, all right, I'm going to make this thing top heavy. All right, now it's top heavy. Now I didn't tighten it back down, so I'm not going to let go. Now it's top heavy. But if I keep coming over here, eventually, as I start pulling it out, I'm actually going to hit equilibrium, which of course means that my drop time is, well, 0 because it doesn't drop. And of course that lets you know sort of where you are in it. So it's kind of back and forth with it all. And then of course you keep going little by little by little by little. Of course if I do it too much, the drop time will be too fast. So having this arm, having this little tool here, invaluable to actually adjusting this. What I've realized is that I'm not really going to be able to travel with this. To really get this in, to really get it aligned, I'm going to have to bring another tripod and this little arm here as well, which means I'm going to have to carry that wherever I go. It's a lot of weight just for this. More importantly, I'm not that good with it yet. I keep hitting it with my stomach. And how many Steadicam shots do I want? How many Glidecam shots do I really want? And I don't want that many, so I'm going to be trying some other stuff. So while I'm still going to make sure that I know how to use this thing, and we're going to use it for more local projects, for the big trip that's coming up, not going to take it. That's what our tests have shown. So tell me what you think. I love your feedback. Keep it coming.